I would like to call to order the April 24th meeting of the City of West Sacramento Arts Commission. Let's start with roll call. Christina Rodriguez. Peggy Bell.
Here.
Michael Sanchez.
Here.
Don Peterson.
Here.
Carla Hansen. Cheryl Gleason.
Here. There we go.
Albert Loeval. Aman DeGeorge. We have a quorum. Okay, we will begin with the land acknowledgement. We would like to acknowledge that the land on which we live, work, learn, and commune is the original homelands of the indigenous people of West Sacramento, who have stewarded this land throughout the generations. We acknowledge and we thank the original inhabitants who have occupied, maintained, and secured this place and who still exist on this land. We respect and celebrate the many diverse indigenous people still connected to this land which we gather. Thank you. And then if we can get a commissioner to start the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Anyone wishing to address the commission or any agenda item may fill out the request to speak card and present it to the clerk prior to completion of staff presentation. Items on the consent agenda will be considered in one motion, and the request to speak card should be turned in prior to the first item on consent. That brings us to item 1, which is presentations by the public on matters not on the agenda within the jurisdiction of the commission. We're going to start with General Administration Function Part 1, swearing in of the new members. All members have been sworn in. Number 2, consideration of selection of a chairperson for the Historic Preservation Commission. Staff respectfully recommends that the Arts, Culture, and Historic Preservation Commission elect one member to serve as vice chairperson for the commission to serve until the first meeting of April 2024. Correction, chairperson.
I would like to nominate Commissioner Gleason for chairperson. Does anybody want to second that or discussion or nominate anybody else?
I second that nomination. Who seconded? Thank you.
Staff respectfully recommends that the Arts, Culture, and Historic Preservation Commission elect one member to serve as vice chair for the commission until the first meeting of April 2024.
I nominate Peggy Bell as vice chairperson.
I second that.
We're going to do the roll call again since we had a commissioner enter. Christina Rodriguez. Okay. Albert Loeyball.
Welcome, everybody, and thank you for coming to tonight's meeting. Let's get going on item number 4. Do we have any presentations by the public for not on the agenda of jurisdiction of this commission? Anybody turn in a card? No? Okay.
No.
I would like to get consideration for the approval of last meeting's minutes, please.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes of our last meeting.
Seconded.
Motion passes. Do we need to vote on that, Cheryl?
Yes.
All in favor of passing the minutes from the last meeting, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Anybody oppose? Motion passes. Okay, item number 6, we'd like to consideration for the final design placement of the Southport levee. And we have
Me.
Erin Rivas.
Good evening, Chair, Vice Chair, and Commissioners. My name is Erin Rivas, and I'm the Parks and Recreation Business Manager. I'm also working with Jay Shahal. We're both co-interim park directors, while Tracy Michael, the former director, has taken a position. Well, she's now the Director of Economic Development, and we're looking for a new director. But we are here to answer any questions if anyone needs any assistance. I also wanted to invite you to meet the Director of Capital Projects, Ariana Adame, I'm blanking, sorry. She works with, I know Ariana, I apologize. She works with parks extensively on all of our CIP projects, and she's here to answer any questions you might have. No.
Push the little button on the base of the neck. Yeah.
Is it on now? Oh, yes. Good evening. I just wanted to come and introduce myself. I know there's some new commissioners today. And so, as Erin mentioned, we work on many of these projects. And so just wanted to have you be able to put a name to a face and welcome everyone. And nice to meet everyone. And I'm sure we'll be working together in the future. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The item that I'm bringing to you tonight is the final design and placement of the Southport Levee Trailhead public art element. The Southport Levee Trailhead is the first formal trailhead along the Southport Levee Recreational Trail. The project was funded by 2 rounds of Habitat Conservation funding for property acquisition and site development. Improvements to the site will include a paved parking lot, a plaza with restroom building, landscaping, shaded seating, and educational kiosks, lighting, and equestrian staging area, and overflow parking. Per the city's public art plan, the project is required to contribute a public art contribution or payment of 1% of the project hard construction costs. The estimated hard construction cost was about 1.1 million, resulting in a public art budget of about 11,000, which isn't a whole heck of a lot. And since this is our first formal trailhead along the levee trail, staff proposed an increased budget of 20,000. The city issued 2 rounds of RFPs for art proposals, and only 1 responsive proposal received. The 1 proposal was from a local artist, Wes Horn, who is here this evening. The proposal included 2 elements that were nature-inspired, depicting wildlife native to the project area. Mr. Horn is here to provide the commission with additional information about bird balance and river wheel and to respond to any questions that you may have. Wes?
Hello, everyone. I'm Wes Horn. I'm a lifetime Yolo County resident and a professional artist, a second-generation professional artist. My mother also did large-scale public art and was an art educator. So very excited to be considered for the improvements upon the Southport Trail. Do a lot of different things in the art field, but definitely doing large-scale public art is really my drive and my motivation. So to see it here in Yolo County and close to a waterway, which is really near to my heart, was definitely a no-brainer. So I'm again grateful to be considered. We have basically 2 components that are part of this current improvement. One would be a freestanding totem piece of sorts with 3 native birds, kestrel, yellow-billed magpie, and the California quail, which are ones that I selected for kind of personal preference, but also because of their color, because of their vibrancy and their availability in the landscape. They're all 3 birds that I think people walking on the trail could very easily encounter. And then the second component proposed would be a mural featuring a number of fish that are native to the Sacramento, or not necessarily native, some are introduced in fact, but common current fish that one would find in the Sacramento River, which again was a personal draw, as I'm really drawn to fishing and the fish in the river, but something that I felt was important to represent visually, as it's not as apparent as the birds and the other things. So going back around to what I do, kind of my mother material is ceramic, but I really value a lot of high durability, high functionality materials, of which ceramic is one, but things that are compatible with that would also be cement, stone, steel. So things that are going to be minimal maintenance, really well suited and time tested for high traffic areas like this, and aren't going to fade in UV, have inherent properties that make them really easy to clean up any possible graffiti or any kind of worst case contingency that might happen there. For instance, the kind of standing totem piece would be built with reinforced rebar and cement as the base, which is ostensibly what we would build a skyscraper or a freeway overpass out of. So very structurally strong there, and then surfaced in high fire, handmade ceramic, and broken tile mosaic, both of which would be suited for even a more extreme environment than we have here in Yolo County. If there was suddenly a freeze or thaw or anything like that, that's all accounted for. Been working myself professionally since 2009, so I have a pretty good kind of portfolio and track record of successful projects. And again, all the materials involved are really time tested and accepted for this kind of environment. Yeah, I did bring like some material samples and stuff. I don't know how appropriate that is to bring out right now, but if anyone's interested, I'll hang around and can show you more. I also teach art both in the Sacramento and Davis school systems and also out of my studio in West Davis. And I know it didn't really work out in this project, but something that I always really try to push for in public art is a community build, often called a community build aspect, where we invite members of the community, because these are, in a sense, folk materials, the clay particularly. I know there was a recent call for a bench at the fire department, which I was applied for, but I think there'll be more in the future, and I'm excited to work with you guys on both this one and anything that might come through in the future, and excited to see the waterfront kind of more accessible as well. Any questions or anything I I went over too quickly there.
I do. I'm very excited about this project, first of all. I am a very strong believer in native species, and I'm really excited to hear about the ones you're including. I do have a question for Erin. Did the RFP specify that the species all should be traditionally native and not introduced species? No. Okay.
No, I didn't.
Thank you. My personal preference would be that every species indicated would be native to this locale.
Certainly.
But
yeah, and with the birds, that's the case. I know
Yes.
specifically the yellow-billed magpie is pretty cool because that's our area of this valley. There's magpies more broadly, but that one's the most kind of local bird, I think. The fish, we can talk further about this, but that gets a little more complicated because there are so many introduced fish and they do play such a role in the current environment. And I know that, you know, this could be split a million different ways, but my thought was more just to include the major players, the one if you dipped a net or a fishing pole into a section of the river, what would be the ones you would be encountering most likely? And, you know, just the current state of the ecosystem. Some of those, notably the striped bass, are introduced. But something I'm open to talking about further. We're not necessarily definitive on any of those species, so we can still adjust those as we go into the final fabrication. But
okay. I know that we do have quite a lot of species that will come up from the ocean but are still considered native to the Sacramento River.
yeah, steelhead and salmon, I know, are very important ones.
They go up and down. So I think we have a lot of natives. Maybe you can pick from those, but that's just my personal feelings.
Very good.
Thank you.
Wes, thanks for being here. I really enjoyed hearing about your passion about this project and being on the waterfront. And I love the mosaic tiles. I think that they are really sustainable and durable. I think you put a lot of thought into, you know, how to make this sustainable and within budget. And I'm excited for what we're going to see and other projects that hopefully you'll be able to contribute on as well.
Thank you, Peggy.
You're welcome.
Wes, this is Commissioner Gleason. I was on the committee for the bench project and loved the submissions that you made, and you just barely got edged out.
Oh, thanks so much.
Having seen a lot of your mom, and for those of you who don't know, Donna Billick is his mom, and she is an amazing public art artist in the area, but now apparently lives down where it's a little warmer in New Mexico.
Yeah, she's in Baja full time now.
Oh, now,
Yeah.
okay. I have no problem with things being introduced because that is the way of the world that we live in now. Things get introduced and then they become natural given a few years. I look forward to your work. I've seen your work physically in Davis and in other areas, and I think your work is exceptional. And I'm looking forward to working with you on this project.
Me too. Thank you.
Anybody else have any questions for Wes? Comments?
Wanted to thank you for coming down and sharing. It's really cool that you're an educator. Where do you teach school? Just curious.
I have classes twice a week on Sundays and Mondays just out of my studio in Davis. But I also am a contractor with the Davis Unified School District and Twin Rivers School District, and do either take-home projects or some get installed on campus. Just this morning worked with Pioneer Elementary, and last year did a really cool project at Grant High School, kind of a pollinator totem as well with them. And so, yeah.
Cool. Art education is very important.
Indeed.
I was just thinking when you're talking about how you teach, and plus I did kind of want to see your materials, and then regarding the teaching, I see an opportunity for WestSAC kids to maybe contribute in some ways on, I don't know about this particular project, but that would be really fun to have our kids involved in our public art.
I couldn't agree more. I'd be more than happy to share examples of just where that you could go with that, because it's a really powerful motivator and really gets a lot of buy-in from the community. It's not just some art piece that was placed there. People were very much involved. It doesn't have to just be with the fabrication. Obviously, it's always a dialogue as far as what species and stuff get involved, but if you open that more broadly, you can balance different inputs even in the design as well as the fabrication and the installment, and you get a lot more. It's just a lot of powerful feedback loops as far as like value and interest and stuff. So I could go on. I don't know how much time we have, but yeah.
Well, I love the many generations that we have living in West Sacramento, and for generations after generations to be able to return to a spot and say, oh, look,
Absolutely.
Grandma helped with this, or, you know, when she was in kindergarten.
Yeah, there's a lot of pride in having a piece of yourself involved in it, yeah.
Well, and we do have that public component in our bench project. So those in the community that when the firehouse bench project comes on, there are going to be several community days where they can get involved with that particular project. So, all right. Aaron, do we need to take a vote to pass this to committee to the council, since this was...
I think this is in support of the art piece, so I would say yes.
Okay. So can we get a vote? Sharon?
Somebody want to make a motion in support of?
Yeah, I would like to make a motion to support the final design presented by staff today for the Southport Levee Trailhead Public Project.
Seconded.
Great. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. All those opposed? Motion passes. Welcome to West Sacramento, Wes.
Thank you, everyone. Look forward to
Assuming
working
that
with
City
you.
Council goes ahead with it.
Yes.
You're our guy.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Appreciate it. Next on the agenda, we have the workshop at West Acre Park renovation. And
You get me again.
Aaron.
Yes. So the item I'm going to bring to you tonight is the West Acre Park Renovation Expansion Project Public Art Elements. As you may know, West Acre Park is one of many city parks that we share with Washington Unified School District. I need my glasses, sorry, I can't read. It's part of we partner with Washington Unified School District as part of a joint use agreement. The park property is owned by Washington Unified School District, but maintained by the city and available for use by the public. The city was awarded nearly $8 million in Prop 68 grant funding to pay for the renovation and expansion of West Acre Park. The proposed improvements include renovating the existing skate park, improved playfields, new playground equipment, basketball courts, tennis courts, walking loops, pickleball courts, benches, and seating areas. Including also shade elements, landscaping, a splash pad, a restroom, a drinking fountain, and an art feature. The city has been working closely with the community to refine the park design, including multiple community engagement events and online surveys. For the city's public art plan, the project is required to contribute a public art fee, very much like the other project, of 1% of the project hard construction cost. This project, the hard construction costs are about $6.5 million, leaving a public art budget of about $65,000. Here to provide you with a PowerPoint presentation of the proposed improvements at West Acre Park and discuss possible types of art elements that could be included as part of the project, as well as identify some placement options, are Greg Melton and Sarah Crossley from Melton Design Group.
Hello, welcome.
Usually. Hello, I'm Sarah Crossley with Melton Design Group, and this is Greg Melton. So as Aaron said, I'll run through our park vision and then identify where we have looked at our opportunities on site.
Sherelle, could we get our monitors on so we can see the PowerPoint?
All right, so as Aaron had mentioned, the scope included a new all-wheel skate park, and within that we have an existing steel structure that we're upcycling to use for a shade element in the skate park. It also presents itself with mural opportunities, refurbishment of a basketball court, a new spray park, adventure play area, swings, a multi-use building with shade and pump house, a large open turf field for soccer, 6 pickleball courts with a noise barrier wall. And then we have some wellness components. So we have a natural labyrinth and a reflexology trail. There's also a small picnic/amphitheater element, so you can hold events. We also have nice vegetation, shade trees, and screening to the freeway. So the theme of our park, it was cool to learn that the site's history is an old school bus yard. So we wanted to celebrate that and create a park theme of the natural environment taking over the urban landscape. So nature and wellness, upcycling and preservation, and history and education were the cornerstones of our theme. So you'll see we have, I'll show some images of the site vision. So here's just an aerial of above. This is a view of our play area. So we have started to envision a school bus play structure just to celebrate that site's history. With the slide, we used earthwork to help us create a ramp up, so it's ADA accessibility without showing a big ramp. And on the front of that is a climbing wall. We wanted to add a little bit of topography to the site, natural play. So you can see our theme come to life here a bit with the urban environment with pipes. The slide is like a big pipe with the school bus, and we'll have more elements, but then you see the nature come in with the stones, the trees. Above the bus, maybe there's a leaf shade structure. So again, just a concept, but pulling our theme together. This is a view of our envisioned spray ground. So pipes coming out of the ground. We actually went to the, we see some pipes that we could upcycle around the community. And again, that's one of our theming elements. And we really, we were digging through the stuff ourselves. What do we want to upcycle? What can we use to celebrate? Can we have an interpretive panel to, for people to know where this came from, what it's used for? Of course, it'd be cleaned and sealed and all with fresh pipes and everything. But yeah, cool view of that vision here. This is the west side element. So you got your pickleball, the little amphitheater shade structure, the labyrinth, shaded picnic areas along the soccer field. Some view of your pickleball courts. Another view of that amphitheater shade structure, and you can kind of see the labyrinth behind it, all nicely shaded. There's that natural labyrinth. So we have our stones in there. They're halfway buried, so you can't move them around. They're big. And these are, if you're not familiar, just you travel through and let your mind go, and it's a really nice, relaxing thing to do. This is a vision of the reflexology path. So little pebbles in, push on different pressure points of your foot, relieving anxiety, a lot of different health upsides to it. And it's, practiced in Asia a lot and just now coming here. So we wanted to explore with what can we do here to bring more of a wellness component to Westgate Park. And then along the side, you can see our pollinator garden. This could also, this kind of area, be an area we can put some standalone sculptures. Just a quick view of the basketball court. And then our all-wheel park, I'll have another slide where we can see where we can put the art on that structure. And then also, looking at the bowls and the flat work of the skate park, we really envision that as being great art opportunities for murals. So this is a graphic. We're identifying locations and type of art. So one of them is the back in front of the pickleball wall. So that is an 8-foot-high block wall, a really nice canvas for art on both sides. Our multi-use structure that's by the spray ground and play area, we're envisioning that a block structure. So again, just 4 walls of blank open canvas space for you. Art sculptures, we're seeing maybe there's some opportunity to have them in our pollinator garden along our trail on the south side of the project. And then, like I was saying, in the bowls and the flatwork of the all-wheel park, we could, the whole thing could probably be a mural, but just looking at parts of it and how we want that to be. And then that steel building, we would look at putting panels on the fence that could have murals on them, as well as the enclosed portions that's a maintenance area, so that's a fully enclosed area. And we have some storage containers that would be a great spot for murals as well. So there's a blown up graphic of that pickleball wall. We're just showing a placeholder of, you could have a mural here just to get an idea. The multi-use structure, this is a view of one side away from the spray ground. And then this is the other view. We'd have some doors. And then the back wall, if you're in the spray ground looking in, would be a great spot for some art. The all-wheel park, this is the structure where I was mentioning. So there's the enclosed portion, the containers are to the right of that, and then there is a panel in the middle. You can see a little bit of art there. Here's an interior view. So the whole back wall there is just a big open canvas. And then, like I was saying, we'd insert panels on that fence on both sides, the back and front, or inside and outside. This is the back side on Westacre Road. So like I was saying, here's the back. So we have some panels for murals, and then also the enclosed portion and the containers. Just some example images we put together, container and skate park. And then sculpture inspiration and mural inspiration, just to, get our minds thinking about it. We were thinking, our theme is nature takes over in the urban environment, so big bugs or pollinators, natural elements, rocks, things like that. So thank you. Any questions?
You probably won't be surprised to hear me say this, but for the pollinator garden, I would love for you to consider having all native species for our native insects and birds. And I love all of the opportunities for murals and sculpture art. That's awesome.
This is really wonderful. You've really taken some great ideas of utilizing upscale and preserving, and that is, I think we need to do more of that. And I would say that there should be something, once we determine a budget, that at least 1 or 50% of the sculptural art needs to be from found object recyclable materials, because that enhances the overall message that you're doing, which is absolutely beautiful.
Thank you, I agree. I think that'd be wonderful. Yeah.
And I think that I think it's dye bond panels. It's a lightweight aluminum product that would make great for those panels that go on the chain link fence of the dye bond. Is a really easy thing for a muralist or an artist to use.
Awesome, thank you.
I am most impressed with the vision with the school bus in there. I think that is so cute, and the repurposed pipes and for the play yard, for the water park. It's really impressive, and all the opportunities where you have found opportunities to place art. And this is a really expansive art piece, and but I see that there are so many things that are kind of less expensive that allows these dollars to really get stretched. And I I just absolutely love it. I love the labyrinth and the, what was the sensory garden and with the
Yeah, the reflexology path.
reflexology. Yeah, that's just, you know, really
Thoughtful.
Yeah, thank you. It's so thoughtful. It's so lovely. So I'm just really impressed. Thank you.
Thank you. I've been going to the meetings when they first started at the park, and it's just so cool to see this finally coming to like this point. I think you guys did a great job with all of that in the beginning, and just to see it really come together, and the school bus is on there. So yeah, I'm super excited. This is awesome. And I live in this neighborhood, so I mean, this is amazing. So thank you.
I remember you from all the meetings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, anybody else? No? Great job. Thank you very much for coming in and giving us a really excellent, well thought out, incredible design. Bravo.
Thank
Great
you.
job. Presentation for the community center, Ms. Leek.
Good evening, Chair Gleason and commissioners, and welcome again to our new commissioners. I really enjoyed meeting with you last month. If you remember, we had our boards and commissions orientation, and we went through a nice long presentation on the entire Department of Parks and Recreation. And one of the things highlighted in there was the West Sacramento Community Center. I have the pleasure of working with the community center team, and it's in my area of programs. So each year we try to bring an update to the Arts Commission to kind of highlight the year we just finished out. So we just finished out 2022, and this is a year in review tonight to highlight what we did. I have to say that 2022 was an awesome year. It was amazing. Partly because we came out of 2 really tough years. They were really hard years. 2020 and 2021, we had to pivot. My team remembers on March 17th, we had to close our doors and say, you know, for health reasons, that we had to close our community center. The team was amazing. They all pivoted, and they were doing so many things, helping give out food, oh my gosh, learning virtual programming, learning how to do things on Zoom, mailing bingo cards home to seniors so that, and on the phone talking seniors through how to use Zoom so that they could still get their bingo fix. On Zoom, which was amazing. I had one of my crew go over and join the parks team and just do work outside. We opened up a COVID testing center at the Club West Teen Center and helped, you know, with that with the public. One of my staff joined the public information office and just went in and helped as much as they could with sort of as we navigated those difficult times. So there were really tough years, though. We had to call people who had reservations for celebrations of life, for weddings, and we had to say, we're so sorry, we aren't able to offer your event right now. And we tried to reschedule as many of those as we could, but as we all know, it went on longer than we ever could have imagined. So those were some really tough years, but I want to say that this community center team that are here tonight, they were amazing. And 2022 has seemed surreal because all of a sudden we got to tiptoe back and we got to open the doors and we got to start having part virtual programming and also in person. And kept kind of looking over our shoulders. Are you sure we really get to do this? Like, we're not going to get closed down. This is amazing. And it has just been wonderful to ramp back up and to get everything going. So, so tonight, this team is here. They're amazing. They have so much heart for this community, and they work hard, and they put on some great stuff, and they really do make life better for our community through the programs that they offer. And at this time, I would like to have them come introduce themselves and then tell you about 2022, a year in review at the community center.
Okay, well, thank you, Connie. And it's nice to see everyone. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Sam Brinkheis. I'm a recreation supervisor based out of the community center, and I manage a variety of programs, including the Black Box Theater, the Art Gallery 1075, contract classes, and special events. And I'd like to introduce our team. We have Recreation Supervisor Christine Prater, Recreation Coordinator Lucy Ramos, and Recreation Coordinator Kira Comiskey. And I'm so happy that we're here tonight. We have so much to share with you guys. And at this point, I'd like to send it off to Christine.
Thank you, Sam, for that fine introduction. You're so kind. Thank you for the opportunity to present to you today. As Sam said, my name is Christine Prater. I've been working for the city over 20 years. I've put in over 20 years of service. My fields of expertise right now are active aging, adaptive recreation, customer service, and I also handle the financials for the community center. So what is active aging programs, you ask? Well, we strive to be the heart of the West Sacramento senior community. We offer programming for residents 50 plus. We love to promote physical and emotional wellness within our programming and strive to create memorable experiences. In 2022, we were coming off of what Connie just said, so we started our programming 3 days a week. Thank you, Kira. I'm a little nervous. We started our program 3 days a week, and then we ended the year with a 5-day-a-week program, which was just pushing and trying to get people to come back and working with the instructors. And and as Connie said, we also offered some hybrid programming, so we had in-person and hybrid. So on the screen right here, you see a mix of the opportunities we offered in 2022: crafts and creativity, gaming, exercise, and the lounge. The lounge is an open area that fosters social connection. We have free coffee, a book library. The coffee area has all the fix-ins. Wi-Fi, free Wi-Fi gaming, and a lot of times you'll see the seniors in there doing puzzles. So a highlight that we have in the lounge, it would be coffee with a cop or ice cream with a cop, where the police officers come in and they meet with the community, primarily the seniors, and it kind of gets them acquainted with one another and more comfortable with the people that they serve. So these classes are offered with a mix of volunteers and staff. Another component of active aging is our information and assistance. We are proud to offer this dedicated time to the seniors to navigate resources and give them referrals and opportunities for life improvement. In 2022, staff dedicated 1,384 hours to this endeavor. A highlight of this experience would be what you see up here, which is our Love on Loan program with the SPCA. Some people don't have companions at home, and we all know what joy a little fur baby can provide. So we brought the fur babies to the community center to hang out with the seniors. In 2022, sorry if I keep saying 2022, we got creative. And because we weren't offering an in-person huge events, we got creative and offered this senior resource bag. And what that included is vital resources from municipal, county, and government agencies that were collected and put into the bag. We distributed 80 bags in that year, and we also partnered with Fiery Ginger Farms, and they donated 50 plants to give out to the seniors and 100 bags of fruits and vegetables. So it was a really good, successful event. So the next area that I want to talk about is Spark. Spark is our adaptive recreation program. It's for people who have intellectual and developmental challenges. It's for residents 14 and up. We provide social opportunities and interactions, and we've been providing fun for the community since the 80s. Spark operates in a ratio of 1 staff to 8 participants. And here's some of the great programming we did. We continued to adapt our programming and we did a hybrid program where we offered both virtual and in-person experiences. And one fan favorite is to the right over there. You see one of our staff, Eric Rommel, doing a virtual DJ dance party. So, and then on another fan favorite is the Special Olympics bowling competition, which is a regional event. And if you were at this Special Olympics bowling competition, we do 6 to 8 weeks of practices, and then it ends in this regional competition. And if you were there at the very beginning of the competition, you would hear silence, and then everyone in the event would say, "Let me win, but if I cannot win, let me be brave in the attempt." And then they start off the ceremonies. So that is adaptive recreation. A highlight in the year is our partnership with the West Sacramento Art Guild. It's offered, usually yearly, we'll partner with the Art Guild to do some sort of project, and then they usually assist us in entering that project into the Yolo County Fair. But again, this was 2022. So we got creative, and this year we partnered with the Art Guild, and Alan LaRosa was our main featured artist, and he did a cartooning 2-day event with the participants. And then the Art Guild mounted the art. We hung it in the West Sacramento Gallery 1075, and the Art Guild issued all of the participants ribbons. It was just really beautiful. And that art was displayed in Gallery 1075. And that closes my presentation, and I would like to give it over to my wonderful colleague, Lucy Ramos.
Hello, I am Lucy Ramos, Recreation Coordinator at the Community Center. I have served my community for over 25 years through Parks and Recreation in many roles. I wear many hats at the Community Center, from managing facility rentals to creating fun events for our community. Let's see, slideshow. There we go. In 2022, we were able to open back up to renting the many community center spaces again. It was great to bring back the opportunity for the community to celebrate and gather in our spaces with events such as baby showers, anniversaries. We even hosted regional events such as a comic verse event, a gaming expo. Let's see. We hosted over 140 events and meetings at the Community Center in 2022. It is my pleasure to coordinate and create fun event for all ages. In 2022, I coordinated events such as Kids Night Out, which is a drop-off event for kids that lasts 3 hours. Holiday events such as the Cinco de Mayo Loteria for seniors, where they were able to play Loteria, which is a Mexican bingo game, and enjoy Mexican food and other treats. It has been my honor to have initiated the Dia de los Muertos community altar over 8 years ago and brought it back in 2022. The Dia de los Muertos, Day of the Dead, November 1st and 2nd, is celebrated throughout Latin America and dedicated to remembering those who have passed. We welcome our community and participants to participate by placing their photos and offerings for their past loved ones at our community altar. I am lucky to have been able to participate in bringing Zumba Gold to the Community Center, Christine Prater and I are licensed to teach Zumba Gold, a variation of Zumba that is lower impact, yet just as fun and active as the regular Zumba class. We are able to offer classes weekly, encouraging health and wellness amongst our participants, mostly seniors. One of the most important benefits I have seen throughout the last decade of teaching is watching participants become friends and just socialize and create these bonds. In 2022, I got to do something I love again, community outreach. Such as attending school festivals and National Night Out, usually bringing Mui with me. I usually make sure he's styled up in theme and ready to go for the events. Oh, Mui is our cow, and he's our mascot due to the acronym COWS, which stands for City of West Sacramento. That's just where our little cow comes from. And it has just been so great to be able to engage with the community and provide these opportunities for people to play, to dance, to sing, and just smile again together. And that concludes my portion. Kira? Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Kira Komisky, Recreation Coordinator. I'm very lucky to be part of this community center team. And one of the great get-tos in my work is that I get a focus on graphics and marketing, often getting to highlight the great work that we do. We have a regular event called July is Parks and Rec Month, or Parks Make Life Better Month per CPRS, our California Parks and Recreation Society agency. So last year, one of my highlights on this particular program is that usually our PIO office does a proclamation. We get a special proclamation that month read by the mayor declaring July is Parks Make Life Better Month. And I had the privilege of getting to record and edit that video last year. This is a cute shot of our sports camp participants that helped make that shoot extra fun. Additionally, in my role, I get to collaborate with Sam Brinkheis on Gallery 1075. This is, you may have not have known, but we actually have a visual art space inside of the community center. It's a two-dimensional art space where we typically feature flat artworks like photographs or paintings, but we've also exhibited like metal wall hangings and some textile arts as well too. Last year, in 2022, we had several different art shows from local and regional artists. Two highlights I want to tell you about are those with our community partners. The first one was with the West Sacramento Art Guild. They have an annual show with us every year and continued to do so last year during the summer. In this art show, multiple members of the Art Guild exhibit their artwork together. We also continued our partnership with them. Not just did they have their annual show inside the gallery, but outside the gallery space, we have a designated wall specifically for the West Sac Art Guild members, where they rotate their work on a monthly basis. So there always is a presence of the West Sacramento Art Guild in the community center. And small side note, they also use the gallery as a meeting space for their monthly meetings, third Thursday of every month, 6 to 8 p.m. You're welcome, Art Guild. Another community partner that we had to work with, we got to work with last year was the West Sacramento Historical Society. You may not know, we also have a historical gallery inside of the space as well too. This has museum quality exhibits inside of it, specifically about the history of West Sacramento. And they change those exhibits about 2 to 3 times a year. So as an extension of that partnership was our art show, that they brought a special exhibit to us, the Alvarado Project, or simply Through My Father's Eyes, And this was the photography of Ricardo Aceto Alvarado, a Filipino-American photographer from the Stockton area. And this is his collection of photographs. You can see in the corner, we had members of the Historical Society, the Filipino-American community, and also some council members came out to the event. Additionally, in my role, it's not just always talking about the stuff we do. Sometimes we get other things to do. So I had a special project with Connie Leak last year, and that was assisting the West Sacramento Girl Scout Troop 808 with their public utility box public art project. A little bit of a mouthful. This went on throughout the year, and I have to pause and give a big shout out to previous Commissioner Cheryl Gleason, who is a huge resource to myself and Ms. Leak in research, giving advice, and helping us as a sounding board from start to finish of this project. The Girl Scout troop reached out to our previous director, Tracy Mitchell, looking for assistance in earning their year project badge, and they had the idea of doing a utility art box art project. And so we assisted them with that call. This took place over the year and culminated in, obvious, as you can see, the successful completion of the project, but of course, a noteworthy reception attended by City Council, commissioners, the Girl Scouts, friends and family over cookies and cocoa in mid-December. And that's just a little bit of some of the highlights I got to work on last year. I'm going to turn it over to my colleague, Sam Brinkus, to tell you more about the other awesome stuff the community center was working on.
Okay, thank you so much. Let me see if I can. Okay, moving on to Black Box Theater. Again, for those of you who don't know, we have a lovely theater space inside the community center, and we had a busy year post-pandemic in 2022. We had close to a dozen productions, all ranging from school musicals, school-age productions, youth plays, college musicals, concerts, comedy sketches, and workshops. And here are just some pictures of some of the productions that we had. Also shown here on the top right is Mike Poe. Mike Poe is the theater's technical director. And the Black Box is a very versatile, interchangeable space. There's many ways to configure the seating, the lighting, the sound, and when the renters come in, they have a vision on what they would like to accomplish in the space. And Mike does his best to meet with each renter personally, sets up the lighting, the design, the seating to coordinate. And so I just wanted to give Mike a big shout out. He's been a huge asset to the community center. And again, we want to give props to Mike. Okay, moving on, leisure interest classes. These classes are taught by contract instructors. And for those of you who may be interested in teaching a class at the community center or elsewhere within the department, a course proposal is available. Actually, Commissioner Rodriguez taught a youth art class back in 2020, right before the pandemic, unfortunately. So we had just a couple months, but we got up to a great start, but then we had to close the facility, unfortunately. But again, it's the home to youth dance classes. We have guitar lessons for both youth and adult. Off-site, we have archery at Sam Combs Park. All of these fall under the umbrella of contract classes. And then in the summer months, we have contract instructors teaching a variety of academic and enrichment camps. We offer public speaking, creative writing. We do STEMS classes, educational art, like I said, young Rembrandts, and then Mad Science. So those are very, very popular classes that we have at the community center. We were really, really excited to bring back summer concerts. This is the first time that the city of West Sac has hosted outdoor concerts in over a decade. And this is thanks to some funding that was given priority through council. And we were able to bring back these shows. These take place on the last Thursday of the month in May, June, July, and August. Big thanks to Commissioners Cheryl Gleason and Peggy Bell for participating on the selection committee. Each year, we basically get so many submissions, and we have to narrow them down, and we do sort of a ranking party per se, and it's super helpful. So again, thank you so much for the feedback. It's very important to us. Like I said, the concerts take place on the last Thursday of the month. This first one is going to be in May 25th. So please come on out. It's going to be a great time. These are held at Drake's The Barn. And we have a short recap video for your viewing pleasure.
Did you click that for me, Sherelle? And action.
Who's ready? Who's ready to come and rock with us?
And we will see you at West Sac Rhythm on the River Rock Night. Let's do that again.
And action.
So we're super excited to be bringing back the concerts, and we've made the selections for this year's shows, 2023. That will be posted this week, hopefully. So keep an eye out on social media and the website for the lineups this year. Oh, there we go. Okay, also, we are very excited to be bringing back outdoor movies to our community. This is the Cinema at Sundown located at Bright Park. And we had a sort of a cool thing. What we did is we surveyed the residents to have their input on what movie we would show. We knew we wanted to have an 80s movie. And so we had 5 different options that the residents could vote on. And we put it out on social media, I think Facebook and some other modalities where people can rank the movies. And the top pick was The Sandlot, which is a classic. And so we had a costume contest. We had a family fun zone. We partnered with West Sac PD on this event and offered free popcorn. And you see the smiles there, and it was a great day. So also, I need to invite you to our next outdoor movie night, which is, you should have a flyer there. This is the Walt Disney has partnered with West Sacramento to offer the Goofy movie. And again, this will also be at Bright Park. And please come on out. Like I said, this is going to be a great evening. We've also partnered with the Yolo County Children's Alliance. We'd like to give them a shout out. And so it's all hands on deck, so please come on out if you're able to.
And we gave you a few copies so you could hand those to your neighbors and friends.
Okay, lastly, we have our annual holiday tree lighting located here at the Civic Center District. And this is a great way to end off the year. It's always a great time. We have, of course, Santa Claus arriving on the fire truck. We have performances. We do the ceremonial countdown. And at the end, they light the switch and the big tree lights up, and it's always a heartwarming event. Really brings the community together, and that's how we finished off 2022. Also, we had the Breakfast with Santa, and I might add that both of these events are partnered with the West Sac Chamber of Commerce. I need to add that. So, like I said, it's a beautiful event, and yeah, that's how we end the year. And then January, we gear up for the concert. So there's always special events year-round, and we enjoy it. We love what we do. And yeah, I'd like to just thank all of the commissioners for hearing our presentation. And at this point, I'd like to open it up for any questions you may have.
You guys just make me smile about this city. Oh my goodness. All the fun and joy that you bring to the city just absolutely amazes me. And this was such a fun little testimony of all the joy that you bring to this community. So thanks. And I'm gonna just continue to our horns about how great we are and all the fun that you guys can do, from, you know, kids with special needs to active aging. It's awesome. To fun at Drake's. Woo woo.
Thank you so much.
Chris just reminded me one thing. Like she said, she was a little nervous, so she forgot to invite you to this year's Senior Resource Fair because it's in person and we're gathering. So when she showed you that they gave out the bags, that was in lieu of our annual Senior Resource Fair that happens at the community center. So the event this year will be on Friday, May 12th, the night after the Disney movie. Yes, these staff, they go, go, go. So come to the Disney Goofy movie the night of Thursday, May 11th at Bright Park. And then the next day, May 10th, Friday, at the community center is the Senior Resource Fair. And there's refreshments, and there's all kinds of resources and booths and information of resources in our city and in our county and in our region. And we all have seniors in our lives. And so there are all kinds of things you can learn about and share with the seniors in your lives and bring them. So please, Friday, May 12th. And we're so excited to have that one back in person. So,
Connie, what is the time on that, start time?
10 to 12:30. Is that right, Chris? Yeah, 10 to 12:30. Oh, and there's a raffle at the end. There's some raffle prizes. It's kind of fun. Yes. Oh, and we also have the Older Americans Month proclamation. So the mayor will read a proclamation proclaiming in West Sacramento that we honor our older Americans and how important they are to us. So that's where it all happens on Friday, May 12th.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks, Sam. Thank you. Wow. That makes me feel tired with all the things that you guys did last year. Do we have anybody that has any commissioner communications to divulge?
This is generally if you know of something, like we just told you all kinds of stuff, right? We told you about the Disney movie and we told you about the Senior Resource Fair. So this is an opportunity as commissioners. If you know of something or you have something going on that you think would be good to let the other commissioners know about or let the community know about. So you may know of another art show that's going on or an opportunity. We've had things shared like joining the Yolo County Fair art exhibits or Chalk It Up, those types of things. Or you might have attended an event that relates to the work of the commission and want to share that. So that's generally what it is. No pressure. You may not have anything yet. It's just so you kind of know. And then there'll be times where you're going to be like, oh, this is a great thing, and I'm going to share it when it's commissioner communication time.
I have something to share.
Okay.
I didn't think of it until you mentioned that. I'm going to be starting to paint 2 murals at Bridgeway Island Elementary, K-8, yeah. One will be right on the front of the school, so I'm excited to begin that this next week or so.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that.
Congratulations. Anybody else? No? You have 2 days, right, Kira, till Thursday morning We really have one, and tonight, to see the current exhibit downstairs in Gallery 1075.
It's her.
Yes, Commissioner Gleason's work is there, and she actually had a wonderful reception and gathering, and that was one of the coolest exhibits. And so, yeah, there's 2 more days that her work is displayed right now at Gallery 1075. So
it was fun. We had a good party. All right, director's report.
There we go. All right, good evening. I'll be giving the director's report this evening. I would like to start off by welcoming all the new commissioners. The Arts, Cultural, and Historic Preservation Commission is a great commission to be on, and I look forward to working with all of you. The recruitment for a new parks director is, of course, in process, and they're actually going through interviews right now, so hopefully within a month or so, we'll have a new director. The Southport Levee Trailhead project is currently under construction. The Heritage Oaks Master Plan Design contract was awarded to Milton Design Group back in March, so we'll be working with them as well on Heritage Oaks. So there will be an art element associated with that project as well, so keep your eyes and ears open. The Bright Park Master Plan design RFP was closed, and a contract award will occur in June. That's another really big project, and will have a huge art component, so we are really excited about that. And the Southport Levee Trail is almost to 65% design, and we're working on finishing all the environmental work. And this concludes my report.
Okay, does anybody have anything else? The good of the order. Then I call that we adjourn the meeting. Seconded. Okay, we are adjourned. Thank you, everybody.